Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, it's about 10:56 a.m. I've been on it. I've been up and up. I've been up. Excuse me. There, and you can kind of tell I woke up just a few moments ago. But I've been, you know, up and down a little bit. Awake and not awake throughout the morning. But yeah, like I said, it's 10:56, 10:57 a.m. on this Sunday, June 23rd. June 23rd. And we are 2 days away from MeTV Tunes debuting. Now, the one thing about MeTV Tunes is they are updating on their x.com/Twitter page. They are updating where they're going to be seen as an OTA, which is short for over the air, as an OTA station, as well as where you're going to be able to stream it via Friendly and Philo. Now, I checked, here where I live, and right now, as of right now, it's only going to be Friendly TV and Philo. Now, here's what's interesting, though. Everybody else online that's at the social media pages, and I do apologize for that notification there. I do apologize for that, guys. It's a Facebook Messenger notification. But as I mentioned, speaking of Facebook, I went to the MeTV Tunes fan group page, and I joined up there. And basically, long story short, everybody has said pretty much the same thing. One, they acknowledge that they do have some over-the-air stations that are going to be getting it, and two, they're not sure, yay or nay, if the cable provider is going to get it yet either. They're not sure. Now, some have said that they spoke directly with the provider, and that the provider said that there could be a possibility that they will get it. If not, they will try to get it. Because let's be honest, everybody is, obviously hearing, a lot of folks, that have cable, don't have cable, have, half and half cable, streaming, you name it. Obviously, they're hearing a lot of people talking about this, and they're like, okay, obviously this is a big, big deal. People are going to want it, and obviously they're going to realize that if people want it, they're going to want to, provide them with it, or else they're going to get phone calls up to you-know-what. Now, somebody did provide a little bit of I guess you could say, a list of what this channel is going to be about. Apparently, from what they understand after doing research, and from what they understand, is this will be a channel aimed mostly for adults. Now, I got to kind of question that a little bit, because if it's aimed mostly for adults, then why do we have, two E/I educational shows on this channel, and probably more to come? Why do we have that? Why do we have Captain Planet and the Planeteers as an E/I show, and Hysteria as an E/I show that are going to be part of this when they debut? Like, why do we have them labeled as educational shows? I don't understand. Unless you're trying to aim for that younger demographic as well. Now, maybe, yes, a majority of the demographic they're going to, hit is the adult demographic of the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And that's a good thing, because that's apparently the audience that wants to see the shows that they grew up on, and kind of give the younger generation an idea of, yeah, you think your shows are good in the past 10, 15, 20 years? Guess what? This is how the shows were back then, and look how good they are. So yeah, I don't have no doubt it's going to hit those demographics. Now, the other thing, too, is I screenshotted, and you're seeing it go across the screen as well as I'm talking about this. I screenshotted the guide of Friendly TV through the app I downloaded onto my phone. And basically, just like Xfinity just like Xfinity or any other cable provider has yet to list the channel on their guide, Friendly TV has yet to do it. Now, apparently Philo has done it. But Philo, the way they're listing it is basically by, still calling the station that it's being listed on, at least the shows that are going to be on MeTV Tunes starting Tuesday. Apparently, the way they're listing it, if you will, right now, is under the name of MeTV Plus. So if you have Philo and you kind of look forward over to Tuesday to see what the guide's going to be, and the guide does show you that, yes, here are the shows of MeTV Tunes, but it's under MeTV Plus, that's because they have yet to acknowledge it or change it to MeTV Tunes. See, this is something that, is bound to happen. Not every person, or not every person, but not every streaming and cable provider, not all of them, not even over the air, are going to let you know until the time is right. Now, it is true, some people did point this out at the Facebook group page, it is true that it's going to probably take take months. From what they understood, from what somebody, I should say, understood over there, is that, cable providers like, let's say, Comcast and all of them will get it, but for some regions of the country, it may take up till September or October at the latest for them to get it. Now, that would be understandable as to why some cable providers and maybe even streaming platforms and over-the-air networks, would want to wait to that time frame. Because right now, the time that the network, the channel is debuting is in the summer. And they look at the fact that during the summer, not many people, adults or kids, are going to watch TV. They're either going to be out and about on vacation, they might be, out swimming for the day or whatever, or they might be doing my middle sister did yesterday with her family. They might go see a movie like, let's say, Inside Out, or Inside Out 2, that is. But the point I'm getting at is that even though it might take time, there is a good, strong possibility that before this year is out, mostly in the first 2 months of the fall, we will all probably have, through our cable providers, various streaming platforms that are like Friendly and Philo, as well as, through other over-the-air stations, we should all mostly have MeTV Tunes. Again, it takes time. It does take time. This is why a lot of people, and I noticed this online as well, over at the Facebook group page as well, I noticed a lot of people are doing what I did. They're getting Friendly TV. They're starting to subscribe to it for the first time. They're starting to, upgrade, the subscription to it so they can have the DVR capabilities. They come with the upgrade and so on. But yeah, I'm starting to notice that. But I'm also noticing that they're doing this, and some of the wording some of them use is that they're either going to, keep, Friendly TV or Philo when it's done, or not when it's done. They're going to keep it, again, it's early. I just woke up. I do apologize. They're going to keep it even after MeTV Tunes ends up on regular, broadcasting with its cable, over the air, or as a streaming platforms, or the way it sounds, at times. Because again, I'm looking at the wording. Is they'll either keep it so they can watch, MeTV Tunes on the road, whether it's through, let's say, the cable's app, like mine's Xfinity Stream, or through the Friendly TV. But it also sounds like some might drop Friendly TV because, hey, MeTV Tunes is on their providers, on the cable providers, on the over-the-air network, or it's on the streaming platform, ad-supported streaming platform they use most. And there are others out there, like Friendly TV and Philo, that will possibly get MeTV Tunes. As a matter of fact, there's a couple I know of There's Pluto, of course, and there's things like Samsung TV Plus. Yes, Samsung, and I'm sure it goes for the other televisions out there. Samsung has their own network. Now it's obviously connected to Pluto because it feels very much similar. But just by looking at that, that kind of tells me that, MeTV Tunes could end up there as well. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised that if on Tuesday, one of the channels that comes on automatically, because it does change once in a while from one channel to another. I'm not going to be surprised if one of those channels that comes on when I'm, turning on my TV, ends up being a MeTV Tunes channel. Not saying that's going to happen, not saying that's going to happen, but you never know. You never actually know. But the point I'm getting at is I'm looking at these comments and stuff of the Facebook group page. And like I said, it feels like people are going to kind of go back and forth with Friendly TV, whether they're going to keep it or not keep it after everyone, probably before the year is out, gets MeTV Tunes. But the only reason they'll keep it for the time being is if their area doesn't get it just yet. MeTV Tunes is even saying it themselves in a way that they're doing what they can to add more channels, more providers and everything. And they're still saying this as we get closer to launch day, to its day of debut. So we'll see what happens. Again, if they add in more channels and more providers and everything, that's great. No problem. More power to them. But let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Let's not forget, when Toon Disney began, not all cable stations or even, dish network stations like DirecTV and such had it. Not everybody had it yet, and over time they did. Same with Cartoon Network. Same with Cartoon Network. When it began in the early 90s, not many cable providers had it. That's a fact. That is a fact. In fact, I'll tell you right now, when it began, I was still living with my grandparents. I was still living with my grandparents before I was sent out to live with my dad in Kansas. But I remember Cartoon Network, didn't debut until almost 6 months to a year later, basically around the time I was leaving, I wouldn't say leaving, but basically like within the last, year or so or something like that, from summer 93 to summer 94, that's when it finally debuted on our cable provider that my grandparents had, which I think was the early version of Comcast or something like that. It was some kind of cable provider at that time. They went under a different name, but basically, long story short, it took about 6 months to a year, before it debuted. All right, 6 months to a year. So after it debuted in '92, it took another year or so. Another 6 months to a year to show up in my area. And then when Boomerang showed up, I wasn't here when Boomerang, showed up. I was living in Kansas. But Boomerang didn't show up, until about, about around the same time, about 6 months to a year. Heck, when I was living in Lawrence, Kansas, we did not have Boomerang until before, I think, a year or two before I moved out. So yeah, we didn't have it then. And there's a reason for that. It's mainly because of the fact that I read this, somebody even mentioned this, not many stations, cable providers, over the air network broadcasters, not many of them, whether they're under a certain broadcasting corporation partnership or not many of them look fondly upon adding an all animation channel. Not many of them. Not many of them. So it becomes a little difficult because people have to, they have to wait, mainly about, let's say, a year or two before something can be worked out, before something like, before something like an agreement could be made to where, the network, will be shown, but there are some catches. Like there are some, I guess you could say, little caveats here and there for both sides to enjoy. But yeah, it does take time. So with MeTV Tunes, it sounds like it's going to take time, possibly, but thankfully not as long. It won't be as long because it's a mostly over-the-air, station. But over time, though, it will show up. But like I said, it won't be as long as something like, Toon Disney and Boomerang and Cartoon Network. It won't be, it won't take that length of time, like they did. And you got to remember, that's at a time before all cable providers and over-the-air network providers, got into the streaming, wars, if you know what I mean. And here's the thing. Like I said, MeTV Tunes, the people there on the social media page have all said, we're doing what we can to add more providers, more partners to basically make MeTV Tunes accessible. And again, that's not just cable providers and not just over-the-air networks, but it's streaming providers. They know that Pluto TV is just like Friendly and Philo. They know Samsung TV Plus is the same way. They know Tubi, I should say, that's Tubi, Tubi, is the same as well. So they know the other platforms out there. They know Sling is pretty much the same. So they know there's other streaming platforms like the two that are initially getting MeTV Tunes out there, and they're working to bring MeTV Tunes to them as well. They're even probably, as we speak, working with the likes of YouTube TV to bring it there, to bring it, to YouTube, to bring it there, I should say, as well. But yeah, right now, if you don't see it on your cable provider's guide, it's either because they're waiting till the day of debut, which is Tuesday, for it to show up, or more than likely at the latest, they're waiting until September, October to debut it, so they get all the, little, I's and T's crossed, as well as ensure that if they're going to do it, they're going to start off fresh in a time frame which is known to, start fresh with new stuff, with new stuff and everything, shows and networks and all that, which is the fall. So if you don't see it right now on the cable provider, on the guide and everything, or even the over-the-air network guide, it's because of that. Also, if you don't see it on the guide for Friendly TV or Philo, apparently Philo's different, but if you don't see it on the over-the-air, on the guide for guide for Friendly TV, don't worry, it's going to be there. It just takes time. They wait until the debut. In fact, you're probably going to get an update for a lot of these, for that app and for Philo, the day before or the day of. The day before or the day of. And the same goes for your cable provider. If your cable provider does a late nightly update like mine does, then that would mean obviously they're going to be adding on the network during that update, so that when you wake up in the morning and you check, possibly one of the first things you'll see is MeTV Tunes added as part of the lineup. But we'll see. We will see. But anyway, though, guys, I know I sound a little ramblish here. Like I said, I just woke up a little while ago. But I wanted to come on here, let you know what's going on, kind of an update 2 days before launch. 2 days before launch update on MeTV Tunes, exactly, what the, progression of it is, and everything. And, also, when and where it might be available on the day of launch, or, a little later on and such, based on from what I've understood. Also, to let you guys know, some of these compilation shows that they're doing, like for Bugs Bunny and Popeye and the Cartoon All-Stars and everything, These are going to be variety shows, obviously. Bugs Bunny is going to be very Looney Tune based. Popeye very Max Fleischer King Syndicate based. Same with Woody Woodpecker and Casper. Woody Woodpecker is going to be very Walter Lantz based. And Casper is going to be very Harvey Tunes, Harvey Comics based. But what's interesting, though, is they're going to have a mixture. Yeah, they're going to have a mixture because Popeye and Pals is not just going to have the classic Popeye from the theaters as well as the syndicated show, back in the 60s, that is, and maybe even the 70s and 80s shows later on. And not only is it going to have, those Popeye cartoons, but you're going to have Betty Boop in there and you're going to have Mr. Magoo. So you're going to have, a little bit of both. A little bit of all three, I should say, in that. Bugs Bunny, you're going to pretty much have, like I said, all Looney Tunes. And I think you might have, a Betty Boop thrown in there as well, maybe. I'm not really sure. But you're going to have mostly all Looney Tunes, including very rare ones. And if you guys were wondering, yes, because they do showcase, they do list on the guide for your area. They do list that some of the cartoons that will be part of the Bugs Bunny and Friends compilations, the 1 hour or 2 hours, as well as some of the Cartoon All-Star ones, they will include, if you were curious, they will include Pepe Le Pew cartoons. Yes. One of the first ones that will be shown right off the bat on Tuesday will be, as part of the Bugs Bunny and Friends one, from what I've read, it's going to be for sentimental reasons. You're going to get that one. And then later on in the week, I think one of them is going to have, as part of its compilation, Who Sent You. So you're going to get all that. If you're a Pepe Le Pew fan, you're going to get the cartoons. Don't worry, he's not gone yet. And I've got a feeling if these got the most watched out of those compilation of cartoons of the Bugs Bunny stuff and the Cartoon All-Stars, yeah, I think Warner Brothers will probably pay attention and be like, okay, we need to uncancel the skunk and find a way to bring him back in a more modern way, if you know what I mean. But yeah, if you're a Pepe Le Pew fan, don't worry about that. He's going to be part of these. But like I said, you're going to get, a mixture of a lot of that with Bugs Bunny, a lot of Looney Tune stuff, as well as maybe an occasional non-Looney Tune thing in there. Same with, Popeye and Pals. You're going to get Popeye, Betty Boop, because of Max Fleischer and King Syndicate, but you also get Magoo. Woody Woodpecker, mostly all Walter Lantz. You might get something thrown into that's not Walter Lantz. And same with Tom and Jerry. Same with Tom and Jerry. Excuse me. And also to reiterate, come the Yogi Bear stuff, that's going to be Yogi's Gang to start us off. After Yogi's Gang, they might go into Space Race. We'll see what they do. But anyway, though, guys, just wanted to come on here, like I said, 2 days before its debut, give you an update on MeTV Tunes, where it'll possibly debut on the day of the debut this Tuesday, and when and where it may debut later on, just in case that doesn't happen. But also to let you know that if you haven't seen it listed on the guides for Friendly TV or your cable provider, it might be because they're waiting till either this Tuesday for its debut to list them, and they might make that listing happen via update late at night or when you turn on your phone, or it'll be automatically updated on your phone or tablet or whatever. They will do it. That's when you'll see, MeTV Tunes show up on your on the guides for Friendly and your cable providers, if they do provide it right off the bat. Because again, like I said, if they're going to provide you with all the other networks, under the Wagler Broadcasting Corporation, then they're going to definitely do this. And from what I understand, MeTV Tunes is part of KCRA, which is out of Sacramento. It's part of the over-the-air network DTV, which is KCRA DT42 or something like that. So I definitely think they're going to be getting it as well. They're just waiting until the day of debut. Because I did also notice in the listings that you had Heroes and Icons as Channel 76, and then you had something else under it as Channel 77. So I think when MeTV Tunes is right now, it's going to probably, MeTV, I should say, is at right now. MeTV Tunes will be right under it starting Tuesday. If it does show up at that time, we'll have to see. But if not, again, we do have Friendly TV, and that's a good alternative for the time being. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Comment down below, live chat during the premiere. Again, 2 days away from debut. What are your thoughts overall? What have you found out about where it's going to be available in your area? And until then, I am out. Take care.